Compared to most other towns, the one I live in is pretty high above sea level, and my house just happens to sit on the highest hill there. From my bedroom window, I can look out and see the entire town, along with the surrounding mountains. It's a lovely sight. I don't know about you, but I actually look forward to waking up in the morning, if only to look out my window and see those mountains. It's especially pretty after a midnight drizzle, when the air is so thick with vapor that the mountains and buildings are completely covered by fog, with only their dark outlines penetrating the thick mist. On weekends I don't have to work, but I get up early anyway to watch the fog slowly fade away to reveal everything it hides. I watched the thick blanket of fog over the mountain slowly fade away last weekend, just as I had done every weekend before, but this time the mountains faded away with the mist until both had vanished from sight. Yeah, that was kind of weird. The next morning, the blanket of fog covered the whole town. It vanished along with the fog, just as the mountains did. That was kind of weird too. And now, just a couple minutes ago, I opened the shades to see nothing but fog, completely surrounding my house. And I don't know if it's the humidity or my lack of morning coffee, but I feel kind of weird. In rural Wisconsin, there is an old abandoned park. Built in the 1920s, it served as the town's gathering place for everyone. That is, until a newly developed train and tunnel for Tots Ride was installed in 1932. It was an innocent-looking childish train with one main head car and 3 small trolleys pulled behind it. It went around some loops before going into a small tunnel. But this is where the story gets weird. There were numerous cases of child deaths that year, all of them happening after the child rode on the train system. Some kids went missing in that short tunnel, and others went comatose after leaving. One, upon exiting, was found to be dead. Her dress was covered in what looked like small bloody handprints. Some killed themselves by scratching at their throats until they bled out, and one of them even killed another child before hanging herself with razor wire at the family's farm. The park was closed and the town's popularity as a tourist town plummeted. Recently, a team of scientists were sent out to the park. They taped a video camera to the train and put a new intern in with it before sending it on its way onto the tracks. When the train left the tunnel, it was empty except for the camera. The last 10 seconds were nothing but static, save for the sound of children laughing. If you're ever in an area of absolute quiet, still your breathing and move not a muscle. After a few seconds, you will notice that the silence has a sort of sound of its own, a kind of empty, ringing tone. This is nothing unique. Everyone will hear this, given the proper setting. An informed person will tell you that it's your brain trying to interpret the lack of stimuli to your hearing, and so it creates a bit of a filler sound. This ringing sound actually serves a more arcane purpose, covering up a noise we are not meant to hear. This noise is not impossible to hear, and if you are persistent, you can effectively break the cover-up sound. The next time you're silent and you hear the ringing, shout at the top of your lungs for about half a minute, then be abruptly silent. It will be different for everyone. Some will hear nothing different for dozens of tries. Others might pick up soft murmuring. A special few auditory heroes might clearly make it out on the first attempt. What you will hear is a voice that relays an account of events about to happen in the immediate future. It's like a sportscaster relaying the events occurring 10 seconds into the future. As time goes on, you will be able to make out this voice under increasingly noisy circumstances. to the point that it can be heard at any time by just concentrating. Such ability would doubtlessly be invaluable, no? You will be able to react to any immediate danger, relate to people around you with greater ease. No one would ever surprise you. Now, of course, you're wondering what sort of horrible catch this ability entails. Perhaps the tone of the voice is so horrible that it'll drive you mad, or maybe the voice will only predict your death over and over again. Of course, this isn't the case, though. It's a normal voice. Your ears receive it no matter what, and it's simply a matter of noticing. But there is a danger, for you see, when there is a voice, there is a body, and just like you will notice new sounds, so shall you notice new sights. More importantly, you will be noticed. I gave her a doll on her birthday. She loved it at first, told me it was so beautiful, that its hair was so soft and the dress was so pretty. She wouldn't let it out of her sight for days. During the day, she set it on the table so she could see it while cleaning the house. During the night, it sat next to the bed, looking at us sleep with big blue unmoving eyes. But my wife's love for the doll soon changed. Soon, I noticed something was bothering her. I asked, of course, but she wouldn't tell me at first, said she was just being silly. But day after day, she closed herself more and more from me, until I couldn't take it anymore. I pressed her and told her she would tell me what was going on right now, or I would drag her to a doctor. She finally broke and crying words came spilling out. She then told me it was the doll. It scared her. She told me that she had the feeling it was constantly watching her. Sometimes it even seemed like it moved. This worried me, and I went to take a look at the doll. It sat motionless on the little table in the bedroom, the big blue eyes unchanged. I couldn't help but sigh from relief a bit. Of course she's not moving. She couldn't have been. I went to turn away, but then saw a tiny movement from the corner of my eye. I turned back to the doll, picking it up from the table. I held my face close to the doll's, staring into the eyes. Something was moving. I tried to concentrate, tried to look closer. Yes, there it was, definitely, some movement. But not from the eye itself, it was behind the eye. Before I could register this, the eye burst and outspilled at least 10 wriggling maggots. I dropped the doll in shock, backing away instinctively. My wife yelled from the other room, asking me what was going on. I yelled back at her not to worry. I picked up the doll again, using a tissue to wipe away the maggots. Inside, I saw more, pressing against the skin and plastic outer layer. So soon already. I had hoped she would have lasted longer. I'll have to get a new one for her. Maybe keep it alive at first. That way it'll last longer for sure. While I throw away the old doll, I think about how my wife always says she loves the thick blonde curls of little Katie down the block. Doesn't she also have blue eyes? If you like what you heard, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If you'd like to, you can follow me at Twitter. The handle is @FuzzyPantaloons, and I'll see you all next time.